Okay, we have Gina here today, and Gina has quite a story to tell us. I will let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Brales. I'm just super excited to share my experience, and I'm so glad that we are able to connect and really share what's happened with me. My name is Gina. I'm 57. My family and I live in Canada. My practitioner is an amazing woman, Dr. Elizabeth Bale. Paul. I've been feeling just really exhausted and just really unwell for a number of years. And a couple years ago, my family practitioner noticed that my ESR, my inflammatory levels, were quite high in my bloodstream. So my symptoms were exhaustion, my hair was falling out, my blood levels were really super high, so I was very achy. My hips, my joints were practically seizing up on me. And the official diagnosis was polymaglia rheumatica. It's a rheumatic disorder. They don't really know too much about it. With prior to seeing Dr. Paul, I was on prednisone. I was on all supplements like the turmerics, everything anti-inflammatory diet. I had researched all of it. And I was willing to try practically anything. And at that point in time, my vision started going a little wonky in my right eye. So through many interventions and seeing a neuro-ophthalmologist and rheumatologist and my ophthalmologist, they all agreed that it was something called myasthenia gravis optical. And I was put on medication. I was put on prednisone and gained a lot of weight. It seemed to kind of kibosh some of the symptoms, but they never ever went away. And I was also on a medication called Mestinon, which is specific to myasthenia gravis. And at that point in time, I just had to live with it. I was really resigned that was going to be my life. And somehow, by the grace of God, it was going to work out. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out. And I was on the medication. A girlfriend of mine actually said, you should really beat my chiropractor. And I really said to her, I'm really not interested in seeing a chiropractor. I'm sure she's lovely and she's magnificent, but I think my problems are my physical issues are kind of beyond a chiropractor's. But I'm willing at this point in time, because you're a good friend, to recommend I'll go see her. And that was really the beginning. I was introduced. Dr. Elizabeth was fabulous. She did, of course, an F scan on me and really took a look at what potentially could be in, and found a whole bunch of, nasty parasites and some pathogens and some E. coli. And she did scan, of course, use the Firefly on my belly. And because myasthenia gravis is a neurological disorder, she used it on my head as well. So I went to go see her 3 times in that 1 week, 3 times in the second week. And then the last 2 weeks, I sporadically went, I think 2 or 3 days again. They weren't successions. And that was really, really about it. I wasn't sure, to be honest with you, what to expect. I had tried so many protocols in the pharmaceutical world, the infrareds, everything, just infrared saunas and so forth. Really hadn't gotten much success. I'd feel better for a little bit, but then I'd go right back to it. And the medication was still there. So that's been my experience. I even went to go see my neurologist, about a month ago, and I'm off all my medication. So I don't take any medication for my myasthenia gravis. And the best part is my double vision is gone, like just magically gone. So he said to me, at this point in time, I'm going to write down that you really don't have MG. I don't know what it is, but there's nothing there for me to treat. If your symptoms come back, here's a script for some Mestinon, but at this point in time, I'll see you in 6 months. And that's really about it. So how I feel now is my body is energized. My hair is growing back. Like, look at this hair.
Yeah.
I had a huge bald spot here. The first few days of my light sessions, I wasn't feeling so great, and I'd sleep. Like I slept and slept and slept 'cause my body, I know, was rebalancing and doing the natural thing that my body is meant to do. So that's really my story. My blood work, it's been my ESR levels were so high, my inflammatory levels. They were afraid, my rheumatologist and family physician were afraid either I was going to have a massive stroke or I was going to have a massive cardiac arrest. And they had told me, if you were going to have a headache, please go right away to the ER. I said, for a headache? They said, you don't know how serious this is. And so I was really resigned that this was gonna kind of be my life. And so from that perspective, it's been such a blessing that my ESR levels, and I specifically tracked them because I thought, well, let's see if this Firefly is going to really do anything. I was willing to try anything. So I had gone for a battery of blood work the day before. I actually had my first light session with Dr. Paul. So I knew my baseline. And then we did all these sessions in like March of 2024 this year. And at my last sessions, I had my last three, I went again and I actually sent them to her because I was in tears, and I sent her a voicemail, and I just couldn't believe that my levels were a 1. So 1 to 20, just to let you know, is a normal range of ESR. Okay. Mine were in the 100.
Mm.
And that's why they were so afraid that something was, drastically, catastrophically could possibly be happening with me. So when that, after all those sessions, I think like 10, 12 sessions, um, my ESR went down to 1. I actually thought there was something wrong with the blood work. I actually called the lab and I said, are these levels correct? Because they were so high before. And they said, no, they are correct. I saw my rheumatologist thereafter, and she said, wow, she said, so how are your levels so low? I said, are you on prednisone? I said, no, I haven't been on prednisone since like July when you saw me last. And my levels were so high back then. She goes, this is miraculous. So that's really my story. I strategically did the blood work, honestly, because that's how my brain thinks. It's great that my body's feeling so great. My hair is, growing in again, and I'm vibrant, and I hardly wear glasses anymore for distance driving, which is a whole other thing. But my double vision is gone. I'm off on my medication. So yeah, that's really my story.
Wow. That's an incredible testimonial.
Yeah.
You are the first one where we've actually, and I'm sure it's occurred, but because you're analytical, as am I,
Yeah.
actually the blood work to actually show the levels. Because as you said, it's wonderful people have symptom improvement. That's awesome. But you have both to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was for me, again, like that was a really big, I guess, concrete evidence, because even my rheumatologist is like, so what have you been doing? I said, I've been doing these, a great, it's a wellness actually protocol, and my body's been balanced, and it's infrared sessions. I said, it's really quite incredible. And she's like, wow, I've never, this is incredible. So even my family physician. So I knew in my heart, if I was going to have concrete, really correlation, is to let's see if the blood's changed. And my blood work did change. And I had months and months dramatically of it being stroke level, right?
Yeah.
So here we are.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much very much for all the work that you do for families and patients all over the world. I'm so grateful to Dr. Elizabeth, and of course to you, Dr. Bales, and your family, and this ingenious, really wellness tool we have to really balance our bodies. And this is magical.
Thank you. I'll take some of the credit, but most of the
Okay,
development
got
is
it.
my father, Maurice Bales, so we have to mention him.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much, Dr. Bales.